Storage and query. So interestingly enough, Glue keeps showing up over and over again. Um, Glue plays a number of different roles. We've talked about it from a data processing kind of role. That's the Glue jobs, Glue ETL kind of stuff. But it also provides a role as a data catalog and a metadata catalog. So you can use Glue to reach out to all of your AWS databases, all your data in S3, data out in Elastic MapReduce, and you can use it as a catalog to catalog all your data across all those sources and make that information available to other tools like Amazon Redshift. Amazon Redshift is their kind of massively parallel data warehouse platform. Um, Redshift is kind of your typical, if you want to compare it to the rest of the world, you can think Teradata, you can think those types of platforms. Fully hosted, fully managed, very inexpensive to operate, lots of flexibility in scaling up and scaling down. We have customers who run day-to-day like a 4-node cluster of Redshift because that's what they need to run all of their stuff. And they've got some big SQL jobs that do some pre-processing work. So at night, they'll actually scale it up to an 8 or 12 node cluster, run all those jobs, and scale it back down to a 4-node cluster again for the rest of the day. So they only pay for that excess capacity when they really need it. They also have, I don't have a specific item up here, an offering called Redshift Spectrum. What Spectrum does is it allows you access through Redshift into your data lake on AWS. So earlier we talked about having files on Amazon S3 and the ability to query that. Spectrum allows you to query that. So you can write SQL queries, connect up to Redshift, write a SQL query, and actually have it query the files sitting on S3. So if you think about data, a Redshift node, kind of the smallest node you can get costs about 25 cents an hour per node to run. That gives you 160 gig of storage per node on that particular type. So you can do the math on cost and storage. Amazon S3, I think in its most costly, is 2.3 cents per gigabyte per month to store data. And there's lots of ways we can reduce that cost. So if you're thinking, I've got a petabyte of data I need to store, and I need to be able to query this petabyte of data, but I don't do it all the time. I need to go out and explore it every once in a while. That's where tools like Redshift Spectrum and Athena up here, which are tools that allow you to query those data as files on S3. You pay on a per query basis, you pay $5 per terabyte of data scanned. We do a lot of things to compress and index that data on those files so that we can get that down to pennies as you're doing that work. But what's really nice, it allows you to tier the data. We'll talk about data tiering in a little bit as well. But you could have very large amounts of data that you don't do a lot with, but you need available for exploratory work occasionally. That you store out in a data lake, S3, using tools like Redshift Spectrum and Amazon Athena. You've got mid-tier. This is data I use on a regular basis. I want it all available. It has to be performant, but not super performant. That's where tools like Redshift come in, and Amazon Aurora, which is a implementation of MySQL and Postgres, much more performant, much more managed. We pretty much use it all the time now whenever we need a regular transactional database. And then the tier 1 is in-memory storage. So when you need super fast response, there are a number of in-memory storage capabilities with QuickSight. There's a tool called Spice, which we'll talk about in a little bit, that gets into that. RDS is the relational database service. I mentioned Aurora. RDS basically provides SQL Server, MariaDB, Oracle, Postgres, MySQL as a managed service for you. So you can see lots of things available there. For people who don't know me, my name is Michael Krause. I'm the Chief Technology Officer here at Charter Solutions. I hold 3 AWS certifications, including Architect Pro. Charter Solutions also is an advanced consulting partner with AWS. We do a lot of work primarily in the analytics-related space, so helping companies move analytics workloads to Amazon Web Services, including things like setting up data lakes, data warehouses, data pipelines, machine learning processes, and all the visualizations as well.